What is up everyone, and welcome back to another video. So as you all know, Chapter 3 is finally out, and with it comes a new map, an entirely new loot pool, and now we once again have to restart the grind to Champions League. And while I know it may be intimidating at first, trying to rank up on what's basically an entirely new game, you know your boy's got you covered, and in today's video, I'll be teaching you exactly how to gain arena points fast in Chapter 3. Before we get into it though, be sure to drop a like if the video helps you out, subscribe if you're new, and consider using code TECHO in the item shop if you'd like to help your boy out a bit extra. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. So the first thing I want to discuss in today's video is going to be the Chapter 3 point system. Now personally, I was expecting a bit more change in terms of the actual arena point system with the new chapter and all, but it actually turned out to be exactly the same. The only difference between this season and Chapter 2 Season 8 is basically just the fact that points instantly reset this season instead of the usual arena preseason where everyone keeps their points for a few weeks. If you don't remember, basically throughout Chapter 2, Epic would basically let us keep our points from the previous season for the first 2 weeks, kind of just to let us get acclimatized to everything. But this season they actually ended up not doing that, and they basically just instantly reset everything. But with that said, it's still 7,500 points to reach champs, and points per kill are still higher in Open League and Contender League, which basically promotes more passive gameplay as you rank up. Just for reference, in solos, divisions 1 through 3 give 20 points per kill, divisions 4 through 7 give 15 points per kill, and then Champions League is going to be 10 points. Then in duos, divisions 1 through 3 are 20 points per kill, then it sharply drops to 10 points per kill for division 4 and everything after it. And finally, when it comes to trios, you get 15 points per kill in divisions 1 through 4, and then 10 points per kill for division 5 and onwards. As well as that, placement points also change a bit throughout the divisions, but the general idea is that Champions League gives you more points later into the game, and I would assume this is because Epic wants people to play less aggressive in later divisions. And just like last season, there is a demotion system, so if you do reach a division but then you drop below the minimum points for that division, then you're going to be put into the next division down and have your bus fare changed and all that. So basically you can still go down in divisions as well. So now that we've gone over what you need to know about the point system, the next thing I want to do is discuss which game mode and general strategy you should use to gain the maximum amount of points. So to start off, in Open League, you can pretty much play however you want to play. Every game mode gives high points per kill, and with the exception of Division 4, none of these divisions actually have bus fare. So honestly, as long as you're a decent player, Open League really shouldn't be too much of an issue. When it comes to contenders and champs, things get a little bit more complicated. Since the elimination points drop for each division, it's a bit harder to play ultra aggressive without putting your points at risk. With that said, the game mode that I recommend you play in order to gain the most points once you reach contenders and champs is actually going to be trios. My main reason for this is that trios has very good points per kill, and obviously it's much easier to play consistent as a trio compared to a solo or duo. If you can find a solid group to play with, trios is undoubtedly going to be the best game mode this season if you're trying to gain points as fast as possible. Solos has a tendency to make people a lot more tilted, and also has really low points per kill in champs at only 10. So it's basically giving the same amount per player as duos and trios do, and obviously it's a lot harder to get 1 kill as a solo than 1 kill as a duo or trio. Duos is still a decent choice, especially because the main competitive game mode is supposed to be duos for the foreseeable future, but it gives pretty much the same elimination points as trio does, with Open League being the exception, so it's not really the most optimal choice for points. If you do want to practice and build chemistry with your duo, especially if you plan to play a lot of tournaments this season, then definitely run some duo arena, but otherwise I would recommend you mainly stick to trios simply because it's better for gaining points. So with all that said, trios is undoubtedly the best game mode for gaining points in Chapter 3 Season 1. Obviously, that's assuming that they don't change the point system at all. Now that we know trios is the best game mode for point gain, I want to take a bit to talk about how you should actually approach your games to gain points as fast as possible. On one hand, if you have a really good trio, you can definitely play aggressive successfully, but given this point system, it's a bit harder to do so. What I recommend you do instead is to simply moderate your playstyle. You don't have to camp, but you also shouldn't be pushing every single person you see if it's totally unreasonable to fight. My general recommendation is to land at a medium population spot, clean up off spawn, make sure you got plenty of loot and materials, and then only take intelligent fights. By doing this, you can still get plenty of elimination points, but you're also going to be able to take advantage of placement points, which is pretty important once elimination points drop off in the later divisions. This strategy is a bit more of a basic outline than a step-by-step plan, but you can definitely use this as a baseline and then tailor it to your team's skill set. The biggest issue most players have with trios really just comes down to actually finding a good trio, but luckily you've got plenty of resources at your hands when it actually comes to finding teammates. One option is to use the looking for group feature on a website like Fortnite Tracker. You can also use a scrim Discord like Open Scrims or G2 Scrims, or you could even use the looking for group chats in my server, which is going to be linked at the top of the description. Once you do find some solid teammates though, you're going to be right on track to gain arena points and potentially hit champs as well. As well as that guys, another quick tip that I want to mention is to make sure that you're taking breaks whenever you play arena. When you hop on Fortnite, usually your skill level is pretty average, and then as you get warmed up and primed, you're going to get better and better better until you peak, and that's usually going to be about an hour or two of playing. And from there, your skill level kind of just slowly deteriorates as you get tired, tilted, hungry, or whatever situation might arise. With that said, taking breaks relatively often, even if they're pretty short breaks, is a great way to make sure that you're staying in check mentally and to avoid those long stretches of gameplay where you just keep getting mad, keep losing games over and over. Usually when I see somebody losing arena points, the culprit is usually just the fact that they're not taking breaks, and even though they don't realize it, they're starting to play worse and worse and get more and more angry. So overall, don't be afraid to take a break once in a while, whether it's a few minutes or a few hours. So in this next section of the video, what I want to discuss is some specific ways that you can practice in Fortnite to maximize your performance in arena. Now obviously hitting champs is absolutely fantastic and we all want to do it, but the truth is that a lot of people that are watching this video currently probably aren't quite at the skill level where they can just hop in and easily reach champs with some playtime. The biggest thing I recommend against is going into arena, camping and hiding all game in a desperate attempt to reach champs. If you're struggling to reach champs in Fortnite, the best method you can do is basically to focus your practice on improving in arena, and in this section I'll be giving you guys some of my top recommendations so you can do exactly that. So my first recommendation to improve your overall skill in arena is going to be to run realistic 1v1s in creative. Now while I am a huge advocate for grinding arena to improve at fighting, the truth is that at a certain point it's just more efficient to practice fighting in creative since arena is usually pretty slow paced. So if you're going into 1v1 fights and simply getting outplayed, running some realistic 1v1s is a great way to improve on that. You can simply hop into a realistic map and hop into the matchmaking portal, or you can go to a website like rematch.gg and play ranked, that way you're placed against people around your skill level. Another option, if your whole team is struggling, whether it's duos or trios, you can also run 2v2s or 3v3s. These are pretty much just realistic fights, except they include full teams instead of a solo on each side. You can find opponents on rematch.gg just like realistic 1v1s, or you can find a map that allows 2v2 or 3v3 matchmaking, or finally you could look in like a scrim Discord server and just find people manually. With that said, whether you do 1v1s, 2v2s, or 3v3s, or maybe even 4v4s, doing realistic fights in creative is absolutely one of the best ways to improve your overall fighting skill and become a better arena player. And obviously I know 4v4s really don't play into arena, but if you have another person that you want to play with, I mean, it's not a big deal. But with that said, as well as realistic fights, another practice method I recommend you do for arena is mechanical practice. Mechanical practice is a fundamental aspect of improving at Fortnite, and basically just includes anything you can do to improve your building, editing, and aim. That can mean piece control drills, tunneling, aim maps, or something else. Improving your overall mechanical skill has a really strong correlation to being more consistent in arena, so make sure that you're improving your actual mechanics as well as playing the actual game. And definitely stay tuned, as I'm planning on posting plenty of videos relating to improving mechanics, various creative maps, and more on the channel. The third practice method I have for arena is less of a practice method and more of just a general way to improve, and that's VOD reviewing. At this point, I talk about VOD reviewing in pretty much every single arena related video, but that's because it's simply that useful. All you've got to do is take a game where you lost and hop into replay mode, watch your opponent's perspective, watch your own perspective, and really just try to get a good idea of what happened and what led up to it. Simply rewatching and analyzing your own gameplay is one of the best ways to spot your own mistakes, find things to improve on, and learn tips and strategies that you probably otherwise wouldn't have known. So I know I say this all the time, but start VOD reviewing as soon as possible, especially if you're trying to improve in arena. And finally guys, my last tip to practice for arena is going to be one of the most important tips, and that's to simply play arena. Whether you're struggling with early game, fighting, rotating, end game, or anything in between, arena literally encompasses the entire game of Fortnite and allows you to practice pretty much every single thing you're going to need to improve on. Even if you do end up losing points for a while, simply playing the game is going to allow you to improve. So while the other practice methods that I mentioned are fantastic and can really help you improve your skills in arena, make sure that you're actually playing a good amount of arena as well, as playing the actual game is, as you might expect, pretty important when it comes to improving at the game. But with all that said guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video on how to gain arena points fast and reach Champions League in Fortnite Chapter 3. If this video helped you out, be sure to drop a like on it and consider subscribing as well if you want to see more tips and tricks content just like this in the future. And if you'd like to go an extra step to help out, then consider using code TECHO in the Fortnite item shop. It's completely free for you and it really does help me out a bunch. With that said though, thank you all for watching this video and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.